Warmest greetings to you this week. My name's Sean, God Squad's International President, and I'm recording this from Swansea in South Wales. So welcome to this week's devotional, and this week we're looking at Luke's Gospel chapter 7 and verses 31 to 35, which I shall read in just a moment. And we find Jesus in dialogue with a crowd of people after explaining the role of John the Baptist as his forerunner, as a messenger, if you like. And some of the Pharisees and teachers of the law had a lot of difficulty in seeing anything positive about Jesus and John the Baptist. And in many ways, they were unlike anything that they could possibly have expected to see as a potential Messiah or his messenger. And John the Baptist, he was a wild man of the desert. He fasted, he lived simply, very much an alternative lifestyle in the way he dressed, what he did, what he said, what he ate. But often within the ancient world, desert life was sometimes, it was associated with a demonic life. But at the time when Jesus is saying these words to the crowd, John the Baptist had been jailed by Herod. John had lived on the edge. He'd embraced and baptized and challenged all kinds of people. And in fact, it was his challenging, confrontational words that had landed him in jail. Jesus, on the other hand, he'd been branded a gluttonous drunk by the Pharisees and religious leaders because he loved to hang out and eat and drink and party with all manner of misfits and outcasts. So let's read this passage. It's just a few verses, and I'm going to read it this week from the Message translation of the Bible. And so Jesus addresses the crowd of people, and it's described like this: "How can I account for the people of this generation? They're like spoiled children complaining to their parents. We wanted to skip rope and you were always too tired. We wanted to talk but you were always too busy. John the Baptizer came fasting and you called him crazy. The Son of Man came feasting and you called him a boozer." Opinion polls don't count for much, do they? The proof of the pudding is in the eating. So that's from Luke chapter 7, verses 31 to 35. Now the Pharisees' legalism, being sticklers for the rules, had often prevented them from seeing God at work right in front of their eyes. It was their plank, if you like, in their eye that Jesus often spoke about. They weren't easily ready to be surprised by God. They weren't open to a new demonstration of God's grace. And instead they ended up behaving like kids, trying to play Jesus off against John the Baptist, against each other. But Jesus refused to play those kind of games, because both Jesus and John the Baptist delivered news that a truly transformed life in God is possible, including among those who some would think would be obviously excluded. And this is actually our collective testimony, I believe, within God Squad. And it's also the collective story of the church community, generation after generation. And that testimony is that this transformation is still possible. It's possible from a God who meets us in those dark desert experiences, or pulls up a stool alongside us at the bar. And I guess my challenge this week will be just to encourage us to never give up being surprised on how, who, and where the Spirit of Jesus meets us, challenges us, and also changes us. Cheers. God bless.